lost regular season game. Jalen Brunson and the other starters, aside from Mikal Bridges, all resting. Deuce McBride had 21. Bridges only played a couple of seconds. LaMelo Ball, 19. Got that 1-foot three that is so effective. And Charlotte tonight, with the fans getting jerseys after the game, cat a souvenir into the stands. The Hornets beat the Knicks, final count 110-96. Knicks finished this season 53-29. Great to have you with us, Bill Pito, along with Wally Zerbiak. So we knew the Knicks are going to get third. We saw some good performances, which we will detail. The loss means nothing.
Right.
What is most significant as we speak, and Mike Breen talked you through it, we know that the Raptors are going to beat the Nets.
Yep.
The Hawks were blown out by the Heat.
Right.
It all comes down to Orlando and Boston. The Magic lose, and right now they're down 7 with about 3 minutes to go. The Knicks are going to play Atlanta.
Yep.
It will be Atlanta 6, Knicks 3. We'll keep you posted on what happens between the Celtics and the Magic down the stretch, because that's going to tell the tale. As for the Knicks, some really good performances by players that don't normally play.
And that was a good thing. That just shows how professional the locker room is, how the coaching staff is evaluating who they can trust and who they can go to in a playoff type scenario and situation. Deuce McBride really needed this type of performance coming off the surgery that he had for on his injury, and he came back, shot well. This was the best shooting game that he had, so he needs to refresh people and refresh himself what he can do out there. And then Alvarado was great running the team. And the depth that the Knicks have coming off the bench in the playoffs, that is a big-time luxury for this coaching staff to have. They're going to have to make some tough decisions who's going to be getting into rotation and who's not in the playoffs, but that's a good problem to have.
Also had Kevin McCullough Jr., career-high 12.
Yes.
And Pacom Dadier had a career-high 12. We mentioned Deuce McBride. You talked about him, 21 points. He's our FanDuel thrilling moment presented by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. 21 points for him. That's the most he's scored in a game, Wally, since the middle of January. He's had all kinds of injury problems. This could be huge for him, getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, and he was really good all season long, knocking down shots. Not just a couple threes. He had high volume makes during the course of the year. He looks athletic right there. You know, coming off any injury and missing as much time as you did, it takes a little bit of time to get into your rhythm, to gain your timing back. And when you're a role player especially, coach, you can see, trust him to put him back into the rotation immediately when he came back into the lineup. But now to get yourself playing at that level that you know you're capable of playing after the injury and after the surgery, that's a great sign for this team and a great sign for Deuce.
All right, well, let's say hello to Monica McNutt. Joins us now on the court as always after the game. Help call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, regular season finale. What are you thinking about?
I'm really proud, and I enjoyed running with this team so that they could take care of their own destiny, so that tonight you had ample opportunity to see guys that you don't usually see in the rotation. And so even though that one was a little wonky and obviously it is a loss, what needed to be taken care of and handled has been handled. And so I think tonight is a really cool celebration. We saw the end of the game festivities, appreciating the fans, and now we are on to either Atlanta or Toronto. Like you said, Pito, we're waiting to see.
You know, it's interesting, and when he got back in the rotation, played really well. Jose Alvarado lost his spot in the rotation, Monica, but for the second straight game, he was excellent. He was really good as a starter the other night against Toronto, started again in this one and went for 16 points.
Yeah, and listen, Jose Alvarado is a guy that's going to make the most out of every opportunity that's put in front of him. That is how he became an NBA player. That's how he has maintained a career as an NBA player. The energy that he brings to the court is undeniable. It is the thing that he believes separates himself from his colleagues and his counterparts and makes him stand out in how he brings value to a team. And I thought you saw that tonight. It's also particularly good when you get to see him get going from the three-point line. A decently efficient performance there tonight, 4 of 9 from the three-point line. And of course, you mentioned the defense, Pito, and the energy as well. And
I really believe that matchups are going to dictate who gets minutes against what team. I remember when I played for Mike Brown my last year in 2009, we were playing against the Pistons in round 1. I didn't get off the bench. I didn't play at all because they didn't feel like it was a good matchup with me guarding Tayshaun Prince when I came. Then the second round when we played Atlanta, I was matched up with Murray, and I played 25 minutes in that series. So sometimes who's going to play off the bench in certain matchups is determined by who you're playing against. And I think now Mike Brown has a lot of different options to go in different directions with who he's going to play against according to what team you're matched up against.
You know, you compare last year to this year, Monica. Knicks won more games during this regular season, but the depth seems to be in much better shape going into the playoffs. Because even if Alvarado's not in the mix, he's an option, and you got Shamet and Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride and Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench. That's a pretty solid nine.
I agree with that, Pito. And you talk about the depth. It's a mentality also to go to the depth, right? To Wally's point, what is the matchup? What can I get out of this moment? What is the situation, right? We know that the coaching staff of all the teams that are going to go on to the postseason, they're studying play by play, situation by situation. And so if there is a moment for a Jose Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado sort of high risk, high reward steal that might energize a team, like we don't know exactly what is to come when it comes to these matchups, but to have confidence, to have notes, to have research on all of your guys and what they are capable of in big moments. I mean, who knows? Remember, during the regular season, Kevin McCullough, one of his best games, his best game probably until tonight, was in Atlanta, and that was out of nowhere as well. Yes, the pressure and the intensity levels up in the postseason, but the only way to instill confidence in your guys that you might be able, or that you do have confidence in the event that their name is going to be called, is by giving them opportunity and make sure that they are on the same page as everybody else that plays their customary amount of minutes.
Last question here when we talk about the rotation. They have Mitchell Robinson come off the bench, but everybody else is a small-ish wing/guard. Is there enough size?
I think
if you don't play Diawara, for example.
Well, if you need size, you play Diawara.
Or you can go Mitch and Cat together.
Right. And you have...
And Huck Porty can still use some minutes, too.
Right. Yes. No, you're 100% right. And I think it's great to have a legitimate backup point guard also. Like Alvarado, when you need someone to spell Jalen Brunson and handle the team, not turn the ball over, get the game organized, that is a very valuable thing that this team picked up at the trade deadline, and that is going to be very important in the playoffs. You need ball handlers in the playoffs that can run the offense and take care of the ball, and that was huge. So Jose Alvarado has to stay ready, because no matter, there's going to be a time where he's going to play huge minutes and he's going to have to run the team.
Monica, we'll see you next weekend when the playoffs start. Not sure exactly who the Knicks are going to open up against, but you'll be on the radio with Tyler Murray on ESPN New York. And remember, we have pre- and post-game coverage right here for every game the Knicks play in the postseason. Monica, we'll see you next week, okay?
Sounds good. I'll be there.
All right. When we come back, the post-game comments from Mike Brown. His team in his first year. It's there from Mike Brown. The Celtics have just hit a 3. They lead the Magic by 3.
Ooh.
The Wally Szczerbiak lookalike.
Yep.
Garza.
Luka
Garza with a 3. Highlights coming up here on the 150. When you look at the Knicks, we've detailed, and in the pregame we talked about a lot of pregames, issues in the first quarter. But their net rating in the fourth quarter this year, best ever. They started keeping that stat 96-97. Knicks net rating in the fourth quarter this year, 11.6, plus 11.6. Helps to have Captain Clutch, and that's going to be obviously a key factor in the playoffs.
Key, and it's also the coaching staff reading the game, making adjustments, so in the fourth quarter they know the matchups they want, they know how to attack, and they know what matchups they want defensively. That's a great
Moving right along.
Okay.
What we saw in the regular season of the fourth quarter, it's a veteran group. How important is it to have that confidence, knowing that you can do that, even though this group has played a lot of playoff games, but doing so well this year and then carrying it over to the playoffs?
It's huge. It's every game comes down, you think, as a player, it's going to come down to possessions in the last 5 minutes. And you know the better team normally will win out in those type of games. And having that type of confidence is paramount. Having the cohesion that this team has is very important. This is pretty much the same starting lineup as last year. It is the same starting lineup as last year. So they've been in the battles. They've been in those close games. They've pulled out wins when you didn't think it was possible. And they've blown leads and then all of a sudden turned it on in the last 5 minutes and won games. And that's not easy to do. So this team has seen everything. They have the chemistry to get it done in the fourth quarter. No guarantee